KOUJ 107.1 FM, KOUJ.org. It is the Rock of Salvation. And we're hanging backstage with Drive Thru Society. What's going on, guys and gal? All righty. So, man, so excited for you guys to be here tonight. And we're going to have a very special acoustic show tonight. So we're excited about that. Most of the shows here are over-the-top rock shows, and it's those few moments that we get to have an intimate evening with the band. So it's really cool. And my phone is going through, so we
do rock shows too.
Down. Yeah, there we go. Got to be professional here. So anyways, here with Drive Thru Society, and I'm, like I said, super stoked and excited about this. And so it's an acoustic show, and I love acoustic shows because you get to know more about the band. A lot of times, they talk about the songs. It's more intimate, and with the Backstage show on our interviews, it's not like with the most radio stations. It's like, hey man, where'd you get that name of your band or whatever? I like to know more about the band itself and stuff. So where did you get that name? I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I'm kidding.
So tell us about yourself.
You want us to go down the line?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my name is Meg, and I'm the singer-songwriter of the band. And yeah, I have purple hair. Just kidding. I currently, my day job, I'm a personal trainer with Camp Gladiator. And,
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so awesome. I like to wake up at 4 a.m. and teach a boot camp at 5 a.m. and get people into shape. So, yeah.
My name's Greg, and my favorite color is white. And it is a color.
She says not a color.
It is the beautiful color. I play guitar, and let's see. What do I do? I am a BIM coordinator for a plumbing company, so I design plumbing in 3D.
That's
and
cool.
do virtual reality. Yeah.
Super rock and roll.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you got to pay those bills.
My name's Michael. I also play guitar. Yeah. And I also teach violin and viola lessons over in Denton.
Oh, that's awesome.
She's the only full-time musician.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I'm a freelance musician too, so yeah,
Yeah.
do it all the time. What else should I tell you? That's good.
I'm Miles, and I play the drums. And I'm the foreman of a wood molding company. So I work with wood a lot. That's fun.
And you bang on it.
Yeah, drumsticks,
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat to hear all just talking about your second job and stuff, because anybody that's in Christian music always has a second job.
Oh.
It's
We were talking about that on our way up here. We were like, there's this illusion that everybody that's a musician makes it full-time as a musician, and was like, it's just not really true. Almost everybody has a job because they have to keep the lights on.
It's because everybody's like, oh, you do radio, dude, that's cool, that's your job. I'm like, no, it's not. I work on jet airplanes.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like radio is what I get to do. It's
For fun. This is your
it's
passion.
one of the blessings that God has gave me, doing youth ministry throughout the week on Wednesday nights we do youth.
Mhm.
And I said, all my church stuff I do for free. I said, but everybody that does Christian music, I said, if you're going to find out, we all have real 9 to 5.
We do. Yes, we do.
So, but Drive Thru Society, man, I really wasn't too familiar with you guys, and we did a deal with the girl led bands was really breaking through this last year in 2019 with Zana, GFM, obviously Lacey, and then Skillet, so we were like, man, let's because we do a weekly top 10 like we just did, right? And I said, let's do a top 10 girl. Let's see who all rocks with the girl deal. And a lot of people were chiming in with Drive Thru Society, and I was like,
Thank you, by the way.
check this out, and listen to me stuff. And that's when I reached out to you and said, hey, I want to set up an interview back then. And so you guys were number 7, I believe, on our all-time.
We were just grateful to be considered on the list.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And, we talked, and it was glad to get you to come out here tonight. And so we're really stoked and excited about it.
Thank you.
So tell us about the band and the music.
Well, that's a long story, right? Yeah. So Greg and I are the founding members of the band, and we started probably in 2015. And anybody that's in a band has no clue what they're doing when they start. That's just honest. You don't know how to book shows. You don't know how to play a show. Well, you're just, you just like music. And so you're
Right.
getting into it. So we were fortunate enough to have a Christian rock station in the Dallas area that we kind of reached out to, and they connected us with a radio promoter who really kind of took us under his wing and just really taught us a lot of the ropes of the music business. And through that, we kind of learned like what works and what doesn't work. And in 2017, we kind of pumped the brakes on the band. Greg and I had been given an opportunity to pursue another band at the time, and we prayed about it. Miles at the time had to step down because he took over his father's company due to his sudden passing. And so we were there was just 3 of us at the time, and we were like, man, we're fighting this uphill battle, and finding a good drummer is very hard, right, Miles? Yeah.
Miles said, and luckily for y'all, you got the
We
best.
did. He came back.
He's like-
He came back to us. And so at the time in 2017, we kind of like just stopped posting, stopped playing shows, because we had decided that we were going to try and pursue this other band with this other group. And so Greg and I quit our jobs. We moved in with some friends, slept on their futon for 9 months, lived out of a box. It was great. So it was probably the biggest risk we ever took, but we were like, our family was behind us. They were like, if you fall, we've got you, and we did it. So for 3 months, so January, February, March, I guess 4, April, we just poured into that. We wrote a full length record and recorded it. We had taken promo photos, and then in about April of that year, everything started to fall apart pretty badly. And just a lot of expectations were being put upon us that we didn't really sign up for. And so we just kind of were like, we're out, we're done. And so 2017 was really tough, because we were like, man, like, are we even supposed to be doing this anymore? I mean, like, we had a lot of affirmation, we had a lot of confirmation that this was good and that we were reaching people and that people were responding to the music. But we feel like we just got the rug pulled out. I mean, we lost a lot of money. We were practically homeless, and we had no jobs. And so we just kind of started over, and we're like, okay, well, I guess we're going to, get jobs, have kids, buy a house. And none of that was really coming to fruition either. We got jobs, so jobs were good because we can pay for things. But the other things kind of weren't falling into place either. So last year, we kind of got offered this fairly big opportunity, which is going to be later this year, but we haven't announced it yet. And we were like, maybe we are supposed to get the band back together and kind of pursue this a little bit more. And so we reached out to Miles, and he was like, I'm actually very interested in coming back and playing. And at first he was like, I'll just play temporarily. And then we started continuing to book more, and he was like, okay, I'm in it. Like, here we go. I'm back. And Michael here, we met at our church. Yeah, no, we did not.
Actually, just found him as we were coming up tonight.
He was like, he had a little sign, and he was like, we'll play guitar for food, for tacos. Yeah. But it was cool. It's like divine, intervention that we found him at our church, and he just happens to love metal and hard rock. So, we just hit it off. So that's where we're at now, and here we are.
Awesome, and now you're at KOUJ. So with all that coming in and stuff, and looking for the future and stuff, obviously here in Oklahoma, but what is the future tour looking like and stuff? Any shows got coming up?
Oh man, you give me the one about scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, you said you learned, how to do some scheduling now.
Yeah,
so.
no, that was Meg. Meg did all the booking. I just play guitar,
Right.
and nothing else. As far no, I think. Well, it's no, I have no idea.
Okay, so so you can tell who does all the scheduling in the band. Even Miles today was like, "When's our next show?" I'm like, "When's our photo shoot?" It's funny. So February 22nd, we're playing in Fort Worth with some local bands there that we're friends with. There you go. Write this down. And then, February 22nd. And then actually in March 18th, it's a Wednesday night, we're playing in Dallas with Zana. So her and I are good friends. And so she had heard little tours coming through town and
Right.
she wanted us on the bill. So
See, I already see that. That's why I was like, really? You got a show with Zana coming up? That's just,
yeah.
this was number 2 on our list on the
Yeah,
countdown.
she
So that's
was.
going to be pretty fun
Mhm.
show for you guys to do there.
Super fun.
I definitely will be promoting. I got some friends in Texas stuff to send out that way. So
Thanks.
that's pretty cool and awesome. I think it's going to be a great show. And would really like for that show to come through here. But
Well, maybe one day,
right.
if the Lord permits, right?
So, but as I always like to ask the band stuff. Before we get back, I want to talk to you guys about your Jesus moment stuff. But before we do that, let's play a song.
Okay.
Your song.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the song Ghost, because that's first on our list here. Give me some feedback about Ghost.
Well,
You can take this one.
okay. Ghosts is it's really cool, and just from being a guitar player in the band and not really a lyricist, that's more of Meg's job. It was cool to see how the song developed, and just with her best friend, and basically she tried to commit suicide and OD on pills, and she found herself awake in a hospital, and realized in that moment that like there's got to be someone out there that's looking after me. And in that moment she came to a realization that the Lord was protecting her, and that was keeping her alive for a specific reason. And so she communicated that with Meg through just Meg becoming her best friend. And so it was cool as a guitar player to be able to see that story, hear that story, and then see it turned into a song, and then see it turned into a music video, and be able to like really almost like relive it with her in that. And so as a guitar player writing the music for it, it was definitely, I really wanted to kind of portray, and I guess this gets more into like the musical side of it, but you kind of get this dark, this fighting, this darkness kind of intro through the song to the chorus and stuff, and then at the very end there's this hope, this light that she sees when she comes out of the hospital. And so yeah,
let's go. Who does those videos? Because they're like pristine. They're at the top. Like a lot of times, you see music videos and stuff, and bands are like, man, I got this guy who did a video for me, but then you see videos that are like done right, and they're like,
yes.
So who done your videos?
So Albert Gonzalez does our videos, and he's amazing. He lives in Houston, yeah. And so we, for that video, we got him to come up to, so we filmed everything in Weatherford, Texas. And so we did our photo shoots there. It was Mineral Wells, okay. Mineral Wells, Texas. So we did our photo shoot there, and then we did the music video there. And it was really cool. They were, the guys that were in our band that lived there, they knew the people, they knew the people at the hospital, and they knew the people, and so they had different contacts and different things like that allowed us to get in. And
awesome.
So,
there you go. Go check it out on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
Right
Drive Thru Society, YouTube.
Yeah, Drive Thru Society YouTube, and it's really cool. And right here it is. This is Ghost by Drive Thru Society on KOUJ 107.1, KOUJ.org. KOUJ 107.1 FM, KOUJ.org. It is the Rock of Salvation hanging backstage with Stevie B and Drive Thru Society. So before we got into the song that we just played, a Ghost and stuff, and by the way, killer awesome song. Love the video again. What I like to do now is really talk and get personal about, what was it to you that, when was it when you had your Jesus moment? What was it that said, you know what, I don't want to just play music, but I want to do something for God? When was it, or maybe there's a moment in time that you knew that this is what you was called to do?
So I've played, or I've been in musicals since I was little, and I started playing guitar at 15, just writing songs and, interacting. I played at church, and when I was 18, I worked at my church as a youth intern, And I remember it was one night the guy was preaching and we were kind of on the audience, and he was talking about like calls to ministry. And I just felt this like overwhelming call of like, you will be in ministry. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to stand up now, because he had asked for those to stand up if they felt called into it. And at the time I was like, oh, I'm going to be like a worship leader, or I'm going to like work at a church or something like that. Like that's going to be my call. And when I went to college, I met Greg. And I had always had this huge passion for rock music, and I felt like I connected with God so much more intimately through rock music, because the passion was so much greater, I felt, than at the time the Christian music that was out there. And so when I met up with Greg, he was like, yeah, I play guitar, and we write songs, and there's this other guy that I write songs with. And I was like, well, cool, like, can I kind of connect with y'all? And he was too cool for me at first, but that was, that's not the case anymore. But anyway, so we just played at church and then we started really trying to dabble in writing our own rock music, and just felt like this is where we wanted to be. We love our church and we're heavily involved in our church, but when you go out to a bar or somewhere where the people will, like, these people will never come to church, right? Because they view church as something that is judgmental or something that's not for them, and you get to like share the love of God with them in a bar. Like, that is the coolest thing ever. Fun fact, it's like, that's just cool. So in 2017, we actually played a show here in Norman at a small bar over by the campus, or over, not too far from here. And we met this couple there, and it was so cool because, she had talked about how he, was struggling and potentially going to have to go to jail for stuff. And like in the bar, we prayed for them, and she kept up with me, and he didn't end up going to jail. Like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it was super cool. And so it's just this idea that music has a power, that not only does it make you feel something deep inside when you're driving in your car, but then when you get to meet people and connect with them through the avenue of music, it's really cool. And it makes me come alive when we get to do that. So thanks for having us and allowing us to do that.
Awesome.
So is this good? Good mic placement? Yeah. All right. So yeah, we let's see, story without getting too long-winded, because I do tend to do that. I apologize in advance. So when I was in 4th grade, I played the recorder. Yeah, really, and that's when I started. No, it's through my dad played guitar, and I watched my dad. And my sister, she's like 3 years older than me, and so she was kind of learning to play guitar, and my dad was teaching her, and I think I was like 9 at the time, and I was like, oh man, I want to learn how to play guitar too, and it's just kind of that father, sister kind of battle, and brother sister, yeah, that one, brother sister, kind of battle, and so I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And my dad, he was like, okay, well, when you're 10 years old, like, we'll get you a guitar and we'll teach you how to play guitar. Like, I'm eating this thing. So I was 10. My dad gave me the guitar, and he taught me a couple chords and told me to go write him a song, and I did. I'm sure it was terrible. And then through that, I just, my dad could play "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin, and I just kind of I enjoyed the solos a lot more than I did the just rhythm.
As do all guitarists.
Yes, right.
Just saying.
Yeah. So I started there, and it was a hobby. It was something that I did. At the time, I was in sports and stuff, I was going to church off and on. I wasn't really raised in the church per se, but I had really good friends, best friends, and I would spend the night with them. They'd take me to church, do all that kind of stuff, to do that. And I felt like I could, play guitar, and maybe one day I could play for a band in the church or something like that. And I guess a little bit of my testimony is just that, since I was raised in sports, it was always, if you want that starting position, you got to work at it. You got to be the best. And so to me, like, I always thought that I needed to earn my salvation, and so anyways, I ended up trying out for the 7th, 8th grade praise team, and we had to fill out this packet, and they asked me if I was a Christian, and I was like, no, like, I believe in the Lord, I believe in Jesus, and I know he died for me, but I just, I haven't accepted it yet because I feel like I've just got to be a better person, I've got to, if I want that starting position, like, I need to be the best. And he shared with me Ephesians 2:8, that by grace we're saved, and so I accepted Christ then, and I've been playing guitar ever since, in worship bands, and then through that I came to college and I fell in love with metal, and Meg, and
he put it out or said metal. I fell in love with metal. I mean Meg. It's like, so his first love, in case y'all didn't catch that, is the metal music. Meg, sorry that you're a close second though.
Yes, yeah. Maybe I'm too cool for her, and so anyway, so in that we ended up doing that and starting a band, and I still feel like it's my calling, it's really hard when you get to this age and you got to pay the bills, because it's like I have this passion to play music, but I also want to, pay bills, and I need to provide. I need to be the provider, and so I guess I got to work too, and still figuring it out,
There's a lot of Christian bands out there with #1 songs that
have jobs,
got their daily jobs.
Yeah, and so it's like, do you just grind and grind and grind, or do you take a good job and then use that money to provide for your hobby, kind of deal. So I think that's what we're doing at the current moment, and so, but yeah,
cool. Yeah, is this eating it?
You're good.
Cool, great. Okay, so I began playing guitar when I was 14, and kind of the same thing. We had music in our home. My dad played bass, my uncle played bass, my grandfather played bass. And did you ever play Guitar Hero?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I spent way too many. Oh man, I spent way too many hours on that game. So eventually, my parents they got me a guitar for Christmas, and I kept going with it. And so it came time for after high school, what am I going to do with myself? And I realized that I could go to college for viola. So I did that instead of guitar, and guitar was always just kind of a hobby that I liked to just keep going. So every summer after school was done, I would go home and basically play guitar nonstop. And so then I went to, please don't hate me, I went to OSU. Yeah,
you are in Norman.
Go Pokes. And then I went down to UNT for viola, where I met my beautiful wife Kathy, who's not here with us tonight, which is so sad. And I began going to church with her at First Denton, and I wasn't a Christian at the time. I wasn't a Christian for a long time, since my early teens, I think, actually. And after going there for a while, I just began to feel like a sense of home. Like it was, everybody was so nice there. Meg and Greg, like everybody was so great. And I started spending more time there, and I became a Christian there. And I came to the Lord, and I started becoming a member of that church. And after a while, word got out that I played guitar, and we were in need of guitar players at the church. And so our pastor Keith, I could just see him like drooling, basically being like, yes, play for us, please, and so I started playing for them. And I think one moment that really stands out to me as being a guitar player and being a Christian now is I play for the worship group, and every so often people will come up to the front of the stage and they'll bow and they'll pray, and it's the most beautiful thing. It gives me chills every single time. Right. I almost can't play guitar. Like I have such a hard time doing that, and that's such a great moment. And then I met Meg and Greg, who are also metalheads, and I'm a huge metalhead, and I was in a metal band back in Tulsa for a number of years. And so I missed that dearly. I wanted to play metal so bad, but I couldn't because I went to college, life happens. And so this is such a great amalgamation of being a Christian, being metal, being able to headbang, do everything that, just everything together. So, yeah.
Awesome. So my dad, he played drums, and so I grew up watching him play, and he played for like our church that I grew up. Oh, is that better? There we go. So even when I was like little, I remember like standing out in the aisle and like watching him play drums up on stage. So it's kind of always something like, well, I'm going to do that kind of thing. And when I joined the band, I think it was in early 16. 06. Wow. Yeah. I wanted to do, and then after I left, because of, just life circumstances happen, it always felt like I'd like go backwards, and then music would be put down on the side, and I would just play. It's like, if I can play, I can play. And then I got involved like with churches, playing for them, and then at the church I go to now, and I'm actually the full-time drummer for them. There was one moment, and we were just playing, and I kind of just felt like, what am I going to do? And I felt God saying, what are you going to do? And I said, well, music. And then like right when I said music, it's like the whole band came back in. And it was just like this overwhelming like sense of, it was enjoyment and peace at the same time. Just like, no matter what, I'm going to be able to play music, and I know God's going to provide a way, whether that's me playing for a church or in this band or just in my room by myself. I know that is what I'm supposed to do, kind of thing.
Awesome. So one thing's cool, obviously we're talking Drive Thru Society, which is a female-fronted band. Most bands are guy-oriented stuff, and the resurgence of the girl rockers. What is something that, if you was out in the audience, what is something that you could tell a young girl about being in a band and to follow dream stuff? What's one personal thing that you would like to communicate to somebody out there who may be looking up, that thinking that because I'm a girl, the rock scene is not where I'm supposed to be? How would you relate to her?
I think everybody's experience is different. I didn't really look at limitations when we first started. I didn't really see any of that. I was like, so I'm a girl, like it doesn't matter. When we were pursuing the other band, that was when I kind of felt like the expectations were a little bit harder. Like I was asked to lose weight. I was asked to sell sex, and all those things I had initially said from the beginning. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I didn't sign up for that. That's not why I got into music. So for those listening, I would just encourage you to like be who you are. Don't try to let somebody else come in, and promise you all these things and tell you, oh, you'll get more followers if you do this. Oh, you shouldn't post that picture on Instagram because you don't have makeup on. I promise people want authenticity.
Yes.
And so if you're authentically who you are, I think people will relate to that. So just don't give into that. And it's stupid anyway. Like, there is no method for how to make it. Okay. There is no right, rhythm or something or algorithm that this is what's going to get you more followers or this is what's going to make you popular. Okay. Like, if you're authentic and you're genuine and you pursue and you love the Lord, I promise he's going to make it as big or as small as he wants it to be. And he's going to reach the people that he wants to reach through you.
Awesome. Very good. So let's talk about Amnesty, another song. We're going to play another song by you guys. Let me guess. He's looking at me like, do not look at me. So let's talk about the song Amnesty.
Are you sure? I feel like I'm talking a lot. Okay, fine. So that was actually our very first second radio single, but the first one actually chart back when Billboard had a Christian rock chart. And it was like really a surreal moment for us because we were like, wow, people like our music enough for it to be charting. Like, that's crazy. I mean, I don't think it broke top 20, but it didn't matter. We didn't care. We were just so excited that people liked it that much. So the song Amnesty basically means, to be forgiven or to be granted forgiveness. And it was just kind of our heart of like that God has given us so much forgiveness and granted us so much pardon for our sins, that we didn't deserve. And the song is basically just about me or us coming to the Lord and saying like, listen, I have nothing to give you, and I've messed up so many times, but you're going to provide forgiveness for me. And we're so grateful for that. And it doesn't change the consequences of our sin, right? Because we have natural consequences for what we've done. But like, at the end of the day, Jesus' blood covers it,
Right.
right? If we repent and we turn from that. And so that song is basically just about laying down your pride and in receiving the forgiveness that God gives.
Awesome. And here it is on KUJ 1071, Amnesty, KOUJ.org. KUJ 1071, KUJ.org. It is a rock of salvation. It's something like get ready to go live, and everybody starts laughing. So we're with Drive Thru Society. We're about to do a show here coming up at 8 o'clock. You still have time to get here to Norman, Oklahoma at Calvary Chapel at the KUJ Studios. So come on out and be a part of it. Before I let you guys know, let you go real quick, go ahead and tell everybody all your social medias and everything, how they get hooked up and get merch and stuff like that.
So our website is drivethrusocietyband.com, and you can get our merch through there. We also have Facebook is just Drive Thru Society, and the through is THRU, like you would in drive through. Some people spell it through, like THROUGH. And then Instagram and Twitter. Twitter is DTS Society Band because I couldn't fit it all in one handle, so I had to squish it. And then Instagram is just Drive Thru Society. So we're on all the socials.
Sweet, there you go. You can hook them up, go through social media sites, friend them for sure to find out more future stuff.
Yeah.
And stay tuned in here. We're going to get back to the music. This is KUJ 1071, KUJ.org.